Hey everybody, Richie here. Welcome back to my February bench update. Hope you had a great month. My usual, I can go through what I purchased, what I'm working on, what I built, kind of finished. Yes, I finished something. The first model of 2024 and the first one since the Mk.IIc back in like September, October time. It's been a while, but I finished the model. And guess what? I started 4 days ago. So I start and finish 4 days. It's a bit of a speed build, but I got the mojo back. So we'll talk about that one. Also some updates. But yeah, got start out as always. I've been pumping up the content on Patreon every month. Well, not every month, every week. I've been doing vlogs, going through what I've been building, kind of like old school stuff. Going through my builds and what I've been up to, like live vlogs throughout the week. So they've been continuing, as well as my usual shenanigans. I think you've been seeing on the channel now, starting to filter through the man cave videos. I know the first few are a little bit slow for the basic, foundations and construction kind of stuff. But as we get on, you get a little bit more exciting when we get into like installation and drywall and painting and furniture and all this kind of stuff. So bear with it. So thank you for your kind comments. I see the door's going to slam. No, it's going to stay open. Okay, so it's actually surprised me wearing a hoodie. It's actually a really nice day today, nice and sunny, and I've got the door wide open, letting some air in. So off the bat, what have I been working on? So I've been a busy boy 3D printing. It's dangerous, hazardous to the wallet because I keep seeing these files and I keep purchasing and buying and wanting to print and want to print them out, the resin files that is. So all kinds of things. I've been working on reach down here, some few things. So I've been working on a Stormtrooper helmet. I 3D printed some detail parts for it. Now this actually, that's not that one actually bad print. The real one actually sat down there that you can't see it off camera. But it needs to be sanded and prepared. I'm waiting for the spring because I really want to sit outside with that one, just kind of sand it and fill it and all that kind of stuff. I don't really want to do it inside, and because it's winter, I don't want to sit outside in the cold and the rain and stuff. So that one's kind of being paused a little bit. So I have been started printing out a studio scale, which is 24th scale Y-wing, and you see that, get an idea of the engine size there. Did print this one originally as solid, used like half bottle of resin. It weighed like half a kilo, and then that kind of failed and misshapen. So second time around I did it hollow, learning as I go along here, and it's about $1.50 worth of resin and about 100 grams, very light. So still figuring this all out. The engine, I got more parts as well for the engine. This one's kind of paused a little bit. I figured I'm kind of just getting into 3D printing and starting a giant project like a 24th scale Y-wing probably isn't the way to start. So I did print everything I need for the engine, all the rest of the parts and stuff, and I just kind of paused it. I've got the files. I can print it whenever. Like these are a couple of the other like panels and stuff for it. See the detail, it's really crisp. And these are factory settings from my Elegoo Saturn 3 Ultra. I did a couple of calibration tests, and it came out really good. So I was like, well, there's no need to adjust factory settings if it's printing out, crisp, good stuff. Then I printed out some parts for my Stormtrooper blaster, the 11 blaster, again, just random bits. So I went for the plastic ones. I 3D printed plastic, and then anything with details a little bit bad or needed improving, I just printed out again in resin. Printed Star Wars theme here. Then printed out this guy. This is in 48 scale, Star Wars Legion kind of size, from Black Remnant. So Black Remnant on Gumroad. Just Google Black Remnant. He has amazing 3D printed files for Star Wars stuff. So the throne and Jabba the Hutt, obviously it's just straight printed, not being any post-production sanding or any painting or anything, but that's Jabba. And then I saw these guys, which caught my eye. So that was about $7, I think, for Jabba. And then I saw these, I printed these like a couple of weeks ago, these little Jawas, and it just seemed really cool. Again, they look pretty blank, so they're not painted or anything. They got different poses and and different carrying droid parts. So I got like 8 of them here. Again, you're not really gonna see too well. It's hard for me to kind of show you on this camera. So I got eight of these Jawas, which at some point in time I'll probably paint up. Again, 48 scale, but again, it's 3D printed. So I've kept with the Legion size, that game. But I mean, thinking about it, I could technically print these 35th scale if I wanted to. It's a little bit bigger and put them, with a Tiger one or something. Who knows? But yeah, so little Jawas. What else? And that's, Jessica Rabbit, which is up here. Very sexy Jessica Rabbit. All of this, I was printing all this stuff out really just to see the printer, what I could print and how it turned out. Again, it's not sanded or anything, straight from support arms you can see and stuff. The but a very sexy Jessica rabbit. Now, I did drop it during one of my Patreon shows a week or two ago and broke one finger off, so I need to fix that at some point in time. But yeah, she's loose, just standing on the stool, but I thought this was really cool. Who doesn't like Jessica rabbit? Now, I didn't realize this, but I bought the file, as always, online, and it came with a couple of versions. It came with a couple like R-rated, not PG or even PG-13 body versions. Like one was completely naked, and the other one, well, this is a family show, so I won't get into it. But obviously, I printed out the safe for work version. So there we go. It's Jessica rabbit. So I'm gonna put this down somewhere so I don't drop it. There we go. So that's my world of 3D printing. Using some resin right now. Let me show you the resin. As I reach over, excuse me, my reach. I'm using this stuff from Amazon. It's Sunlu, which is the same brand as JO. I think Phil Flory's kind of pushing the JLo thing. This is JAYO. This is 2 kilo. This is a 2 kilo bottle. You get the 1 kilo or the 3 kilo ones, I think. Now this is reasonably priced. This is $31.99 for 2 kilos dollars. So it's like what, $16.50 per kilo. Some of these resins are like $30 a kilo, so it's a really good price, especially with me starting out. And if we fail prints or falling around, it's good to this stuff. Standard plus, so it's a little bit stronger than a normal one. And that's my third bottle I'm on now, pretty much, I think. So yeah, being a busy boy, and that's the resin I'm using. So I did put a video about a 3D print video out last week. No real kind of feedback, really bad reviews. So I guess people aren't that interested. So I probably won't do much more 3D printing in terms of the YouTube channel, at least. Right, so let's talk about what I've been working on. So last week, I picked this up on eBay. It was like $22.99. Foreart Paladin, 72nd scale. So it's teeny tiny. Now I built it, I painted it, didn't weather it yet, and it turned out really well. I had a metal barrel, a little photo etch on it. Enjoyed building it, but when it got to the tracks were so finicky and a 72nd scale. So I just lost the mojo a little bit. So I kind of put it to the side. I'm done with it now. I got better things to do in my time and fool around with 72nd scale tracks right now. Shame, because we're almost at the finishing line, just weathering and tracks left to do. But they're length and length. But it's just hard to get it to go around in size and stuff. It was fiddly. So yeah, I abandoned that project. Was working on pulling this guy out. Kinetic, yet again, another legacy Hornet. I like building these. So I've got this one 90% assembled. Lost the mojo a little bit and worked onto a different project, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I built the tanks, drop tanks, sort of pylons and stuff. And this one I was going to do in a really cool scheme. I fish through the box here. This one, it's grey on the underside, and it has that. It's not aggressor, adversary. So aggressor is, I've learned, is Air Force, adversary is Navy. That scheme, which is going to look really cool. So yeah, I put a Quinter Studio's instrument panel in there. Not that you can really see it, and pretty much assembly done. Normally I leave like the tails off and stuff, but with this one, with the scheme, I think it better leave it on, that I can mask around it and make it all line up and stuff. So that one's going to be worked on after this video and get back onto this project. I just worked on it for a little bit, I just lost the mojo, and so I did that, put that to the side and started working on a project, the 48th scale Arma Hurricane Mk.IIc, the Jubilee one. Now, I will say that is a fantastic kit, and I worked pretty hard on it, but I got it done in 4 days, which isn't great because it's $53.99 plus the Quinter Studio, so you're in it for like $65. And yeah, it's wasn't much value for money, I guess, but it's a beautiful model. It went together really well. I've talked about it again on my Patreon, but the thing is, tip, if you're building it, the kind of back quarter seat on, don't glue it to the frame as per instructions inside the cockpit. Leave it loose, and then when you put the top on, the fuselage top onto the wings, it's loose. You can push it back and glue it into position so there's no gap. That kind of makes sense. The 3D parts all turned out really well. The seats, I used the 3D resin seats. I didn't sand off the seat belts, but I used the Quinter Studio seat belts and just put them on top of it. So it gave a little bit of extra depth and 3D, which looks really good. And it turned out really well. So did Night Fighter version. The scheme was a little bit weird. It had some modeling parts on it and stuff, which I didn't necessarily like. So I just went with a straight green and gray. And let me grab it and show you real quick. All right, so here it is. So I'll do the usual, show some pictures from outside and stuff. Oh, I just knocked the part off too. Ugh, a little part that goes under the wing. So I'm gonna put it here. Oh, but that's somewhat safe. And here she is. And I'm really happy how it turned out. Fantastic kit. A lot of raised detail on there. I was nervous about the weathering, but my tip was to use floor clay wash, and on the underside I used grey. On the top I used dark dirt. But the thing was, rather than let it dry for 20 or 30 minutes, I let it dry for like 5 minutes, so it's still wet, and then got a paper towel and just wiped it off. And that meant it just clung on the raised details, but it wasn't too thick. It was just good. So if you are weathering this one, that's my tip. Just floor models wash work fine, just don't let it dry, otherwise it will really cake on. Just like wipe it almost when it's wet. And it stayed in all the panel lines, and it just turned out really well. Not used to building 48 scale warbirds, normally 32nd is my thing, but I think I'll definitely be doing more after this. I just wish this kit was a little bit cheaper. If it's 35 bucks, I'll be buying, a couple of these different ones for my stash, but the price point is, there's only 3 sprues of plastic in there, so it doesn't last that long. It's a pretty quick build. But again, knocked this out in 4 days, but I needed it. My mojo was, I haven't finished anything in a few months. My mojo was kind of waning a little bit. Failed with the Paladin. The Hornet was kind of stalled, so just getting this out of the box and just knocking it out over a few days was exactly what I needed. And yeah, I'm really happy how that one turned out. So yeah, there we go. That's the Jubilee one, the Night Fighter, and really cool little thing. But again, the detail is absolutely amazing on these wings, especially with that, there's some neat oils and some panel line wash on there. You can see exactly what we've got going on there. Plenty of post shading, and cool subject. Now I'm looking for somewhere to put it so I don't break it. I'm going to put it back over here. All right, next up, Partworks. Again, not super popular on the channel, but hey, I get it for free, so I can't complain. So Fan Home, be doing Millennium Falcon. You've been seeing how this one's going along, hopefully. It's getting big. You see the frame. This is 48 scale, I think it is, or 43 scale. I can't remember. Whatever's on my, it's accurate, whatever's on my thumbnails. But it's, yeah, it's building up. And I got the interior, that's in a box. So that's coming along nicely. You can't seem to buy that anymore for some reason. So you reach out to Fan Home, but if you click on the links, I think they maybe suspended it. Maybe they sold out. I don't know what the deal is, but Fan Home can help you with that. So they are bringing out a 66 Batmobile, which looks really sweet. And I was tempted even to do it myself and pay. I know they're really expensive. But I cheekily reached out to Fan Home, my contact over there, and said, hey, been doing it for Millennium Falcon. I see the Batmobile's coming out. Any chance, I'd love to do it for the channel, or any other cars or anything else you'd have. A little bit of a delay, came back to me. Yep, we've added it to your account. We'll start shipping out very soon, the first part. So I got myself a free 66 Batmobile as well to go along with it. Now, this is an aircraft channel, so I don't expect many views, but hey, it's a free Partworks for me, so I'll continue churning out the videos, and it looks a really cool thing. So definitely something I want to keep and display, that iconic 66 Batmobile. Okay, so what have I purchased? Purchased quite a few things last month to share with you. Firstly, a paintbrush. I've actually set up 3 paintbrushes, all size 2 from Amazon. AIT Art Kalinsky Stable. I can't remember the exact price. I want to say maybe about 15 to 20 bucks for 3 of these. And they got really good reviews, like 4.8 stars, tons of people reviewing them. So I picked some to try because my usual brand, Rosemary & Co. Series 8, don't ship to USA anymore. I guess there's some kind of issue with Kalinsky Stable being imported to the US, and there's some kind of Geneva thing. It's weird. So can't get Rosemary & Co. So I got these to try out. Hopefully these work. I guess we'll find out over the next few weeks or so. Also got some King Art brushes. I got a few months ago I talked about, and some other stuff. Just trying different brushes out. But again, size 2 seems to be what I kind of like. And I mostly do airbrush. I mean, this is just for detail painting, so I very rarely use a paintbrush. So they last me, hopefully, over a year, each one. Next up, this guy. Quinter Studio's set for the Prowler. Now, last month I bought the Prowler, the Kinetic kit. It's got a whole bunch of glass, 4 seats. I think you need one of these. Now, it pains me because these aren't cheap. The full set is about over $55. This is a light version because it doesn't have the seat belts. Still expensive, but yeah, not quite as much. But for what you get, I think they're ridiculously expensive. But they are nice. They do add detail. To be honest, like on the Hornet, you're not really going to see it. The Hurricane, you not really see it. But with a Prowler, yeah, the thing's a greenhouse, 4 seats, you're going to see it. So studio set. Same with Intruders. I think you need one of these. Sorry, instrument panel set, not a seatbelt set. All right. Magnetic build plate. So it's from a Resin 3D printer. You've probably seen, well, you probably haven't because nobody watched that video, but the video where basically when you build it, it sticks to a plate, and then you have to get like a scraper and knock it off all the parts, which can be a little tricky, especially big parts are really kind of stuck on there. Whereas the point of this is it kind of sticks to your build plate at the bottom, and it's magnetized. So you're basically going to take the plate off. I can't do it one-handed right now, but basically the plate comes off like this, and this stays on your printer. And what you do is you just give it a little tweak like this, and because it's flexible, it'll just fall right off. Everything will loosen. So that's the key right there. So magnetic build plates, the flexi ability there. Now I will say, Wham Bam is the manufacturer kind of makes these, the main ones, like the main brand. They're like 50, 60 bucks. Again, on Amazon, this is a generic brand, had really good reviews. It was like $20. So a lot of this stuff you don't necessarily need to make sure my fingers are out of the way. You know, get name brand stuff. All right, there we go. So that's the small parts. Now free kits in no particular order. This guy, Sprue Brothers. I was going to say something else then. Sprue Brothers deal of the day. $55, or maybe it was $45. Great deal. It's really heavy because it has a big book in there full of pictures. It's in Czech. I can't read Czech, but the pictures are awesome. And this has some resin goodies in there, has the book, has some really cool markings for Czech and Slovak. But I'm actually not going to use these decals, which is not necessarily a bad thing because Edouard decals aren't that great nowadays. But I'm going to actually do this in Ukrainian digicamo. So yeah, SU-25 and Ukrainian digicamo upcoming some point in time. But great kit. Again, done a review of this one. Surprised me how good it is. It's a Zvezda base kit, and its service details are really nice. All the panel lines, all the riveting. You don't normally get that with Zvezda. You don't normally get riveting details. So the fact I saw all that on there was a surprise to me, and a nice surprise. So it saves me having to rivet it myself. But it looks really good. So great kit at a great price. Intruder. 72nd scale trumpeter kit. Love this kit. I haven't built it yet. Now, I must say, since filming the video, it's not all rainbows and unicorns. The instrument panel's pretty kind of crappy. I didn't pick it up on a video, but afterwards I did. So again, you're gonna need one of these. But 72nd scale, it shouldn't be much, maybe 15, 20 bucks. Haven't got one yet released for it yet. It's a new kit, but hopefully next few months, once this one is released, cockpit set for this, I will build it right away. Just for now, it's in a stash waiting for an instrument panel to be released. Other than that, I'm probably going to 3D print some Mark 82 bombs because there's quite a few. I think there's 6 or 8 of them. So, yeah, I think it's 6 on them. And just going to resin print. I got an STL file, so I can do it in one piece rather than having to deal with seam lines and stuff. But yeah, great kit. The detail, it's like Great Wall Hobbies. It's really good detail. It's, yeah, just not the only negative again was the instrument panel, but that can be fixed. Now, finally, blast from the past. Kittyhawk. Although Zimi models, they went bankrupt a few years ago. This came out 5 years ago. Can you believe 5 years ago? It's gone that quick. They were about $100. Went out of business a couple of years later. Went for about $250 on eBay. People paying ridiculous money for them. And now they're back out at $110, which nowadays, the way prices have gone in the last 5 years, is actually a pretty good deal. Big box full of plastic, $110, and it's only, basically with inflation, it's only gone $10 in 5 years. So actually for once, it's actually a good deal. So I picked the Pavehawk one, which is the Air Force version. It says figures not included. Well, this one does have figures. It has 2 resin pilot figures in there, which look very nice too, all included, and looks a really good model. Now, it doesn't have a blade fold in here in the instructions. I think you can do it. And then when I do the review in the notes, I put a link to a vlog where a guy talks about all the issues with instructions, corrects all the inaccuracies, and I think he tells you how to fold blades as well. Because obviously, you know, it's a blades out, it's going to be hard to display, whereas folded, it's put on the shelf a lot easier. But great looking kit. If you want them, they're all out now in the US. All the usual stockists, every single one. You can get the Seahawk variants, you can get the the Rescue Hawk, the Black Hawk, the Pave Hawk, all of them. So get them while you can. See me models, the marked as, but the box is Kittyhawk, the instructions are Kittyhawk, the plastic is exactly the same. No changes there. The molds are the same. But yeah, there we go. And definitely one with the shark's mouth, right? Definitely the best one. So that is it. So I need to get a drink because I've been talking for way too long. But you see, I've been really busy, really enjoying this new space, and keep watching those build videos. I know the first few may be a little bit kind of slow and boring with the basic construction, but as we get in there, like part 7, 8, 9, and 10, you'll start seeing this come together. I'll start talking about the furniture, how I'm building the desks, the lighting I'm using, all kind of the bookcases behind me, how I'm displaying stuff. All of it will get shown. Just have some patience as you go through the process, and every Friday it will drop up to part number 10. Part number 11, remember, is a Patreon exclusive, and that's where I talk about my lessons learned if I was to do the project again, and all the pricing. I break down all the costs, having total cost for everything. So if you think about building yourself, you'll see exactly how much I spent. Again, that's going to be only for Patreons, so you have to go over to Patreon and join for as little as $2 a month for that, plus all my other amazing content. So thank you. I'm going to, again, rush, get a drink, and carry on with some building, and hopefully you have a great month. I'll catch you next time. Bye.